guys, it's me, Majora T, and I'm not drinking tea, Terry. Welcome back to another Majora T Speaks Surprise Edition. And what makes this one a special surprise is that I honestly didn't know if I would get the chance to make one this month. I, around this time, tend to get super busy with work. And it doesn't start really slowing down until May or June. And I know in years past, when I've gotten to this point, I've said things like, I need to take a break from YouTube. I need to just put a pause on it. And sometimes there's been uncertainty. Will I continue to do YouTube? The surprise is that I'm still here. It's been 7 years on YouTube. It's been tremendous, and a lot of surprises and even some momentous stuff happening this time around, like me almost knocking my headphones off the table. But a lot of good surprises. Now, the first two videos in this Majority Speaks will not be surprises if you've caught all of my content lately, but they are still surprises nonetheless. And the first one is an announcement for a title that may or may not be localized or even come to console. It is my personal hopes and expectations for Dragon Quest VR. Did you know that that was announced? Let's take a look at what my hopes and expectations are, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, we got some news afoot, and for a very particularly nostalgic series for me. Dun, 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 dun. Dragon Quest, one of my absolute favorites. Love it. I love my slime. I love my Dragon Quest monsters. I love my Dragon Quest combat, music, all of that. It's the whole package. And, you know, I do like to look and just see what's going on in, you know, in the world of Dragon Quest every so often. I know I'm playing the old school ones, and I'll be playing some Dragon Quest 3 today, but, you know, especially to talk with Spencer over on RPG Archive. But I also do want to cover some interesting news that I noticed. Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii teases future franchise VR support. And I know what you're thinking, Dragon Quest in VR, I don't know, that sounds generic, but let's just take a look and we can determine for ourselves whether or not this looks official and looks decent. So this comes from uploadvr.com. I suppose that this website prioritizes VR gaming experiences, and we'll get into that. By the way, gotta love the classy button-down Aloha style shirt. I always respect that. I should have busted one out today, but you know, it's cold. So we'll read this together. Dragon Quest is one of the most renowned video game franchises on the planet. Amen. And more or less invented the entire premise of the turn-based JRPG back in the mid-'80s, back before even Final Fantasy. I agree. This is definitely like the classic JRPG. I hate the term JRPG, but realistically, I don't know. It kind of carries a lot of those tropes that we came to know and expect from like the Japan-based RPG, especially after recognizing what Western RPGs were like on the computers at the time. The series creator, Yuji Horii, spoke with Yahoo Japan. Yahoo, are they still relevant? I guess so. About the legacy of Dragon Quest and its future. And there is a Dragon Quest VR trailer, I should say, that was an arcade game. Let's take a look at it.
本当夢のようですよね。30年前のね、自分にね、こういうことができるようになるんだって教えてあげたいぐらいですよね。びっくりです本当にね。剣と盾を持って自分がその中歩いてるって気がすごくしたんで、もうある人面白いなと思いましたね。あまりにもね、臨場感があってでかいから、本当これ倒せんのって気がしましたよね。今回ですね、ドラゴンクエストの世界をなんと VR で楽しめるっていうことがね、できるようになりました。後ろの中を歩いたり仲間と一緒にね楽しめるとすごい新鮮な体験だと思います。ぜひ皆さんもねこれやってほしいですね。
ドラゴンクエスト VR。
Okay, and so there you have it. That is the arcade experience of the Dragon Quest VR game. I did notice a few things I didn't the first time that I think it's Bird Studio or Armor Studio. These are the same people that did the Dragon Quest Heroes game. So if you like that kind of Dragon Quest Heroes or Dynasty Warrior style experience, I'm presuming that the actual VR game would be the same. Bandai Namco, etc. Okay, I'm probably causing you a little headache here just showing this footage. It looked really cool. Obviously, he had the whole open space to do the arcade combat, and I don't know the full translation of the interview, but it did look like it was something that was pretty exciting. Let's do a little more read into the Dragon Quest VR, then we can talk about stuff like the potential, why it might be decent, and maybe stuff like if it's even potentially going to come to the West. Dragon Quest VR. The above video is a trailer for the arcade-exclusive Dragon Quest VR game from Japan. You can read our hands-on impressions of the experience here. I don't know, I couldn't seem to open that. What he's alluding to in the interview, though, is for an official entry in the series for actual consumer platforms at home. So despite having shown the arcade experience there, they're talking about a potential home VR experience. Now, I know VR is not exactly the most accessible for a lot of gamers. It's expensive to get one of those PSVR headsets. I did go ahead and acquire one last year, and so I understand that it's kind of a niche thing, but it is exciting to know that this is not something you have to go to the arcades in Japan for. Dragon Quest is one of those series that is, more renowned in Japan than it is here in America. Even now, with a lot more of the games filling the gaming market here, and with the rising popularity of like the Warrior style games and Dragon Quest XI on PS4 and Switch and Steam, it's just undeniably more popular in Japan. So it is exciting to know that a PSVR game would come out. Or I don't even know if it's PSVR. It just means home VR. And so far, I think the most dominant platforms for VR are PlayStation and Steam. In the interview referenced above, as translated by Google Translate, Hori says, I think it's a question that everyone wants to ask, but what will happen to Dragon Quest in the future? It's a secret. Laughs. It also affects what happens to the game console, and in the future, the day may come when you can enjoy it in VR, such as the world of Dragon Quest is there while you are in the room. Also, I think it would be interesting if AI systems could be used in the characters and conversations of fellow characters. It would be nice if the friends who ventured together grew up with AI and became people to talk to. We hope to continue to provide new and exciting play under the name Dragon Quest. A lot of this, to me, sounds like, I don't know how to put this, kind of like a idealization. In his ideal world, he would love if the AI could be personable and develop and like alongside your characters. Yeah. I don't really get the sense that ever translates well into a game. When they're talking about the technological aspect of it. There are games where I felt attached to characters, but not because of the VR component. I think at the end of the day, for it to be successful, it needs to be as simple as possible. And so I'm hoping that that communicates well in the game experience. Let's continue. The most recent mainline entry in the Dragon Quest series is Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. It's out on PS4, Switch, Xbox, and PC. Everything modern. And it's available as part of Game Pass on the latter two platforms. Rather than simply numbering entries like Final Fantasy, the Dragon Quest series is well known for its esoteric and fancy subtitles. Some of my favorite subtitles include Dragon Quest II, Luminaries of the Legendary Line, and Dragon Quest IX, Sentinels of the Starry Skies. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're talking about titles here. I don't exactly care. What exactly a Dragon Quest game could look like in VR is a big mystery. If the arcade adaptation is anything to go by, it probably means adapting things to a more action-focused format, a la the Dragon Quest Heroes, which could be a lot of fun. But it's hard to know how they will adapt the heavy exposition, menu-heavy interface, and slower pace that the series is known for. Okay, so let's just talk kind of generally about this for a second. I think that the project has potential. I think, like I was saying, the simpler, the better. If they try and create this rich, you know, experience with exposition, as they were mentioning in the article, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure because a VR game, I don't see a VR game as being like a 40-hour experience. Prove me wrong. I know Skyrim VR exists, but given the option, I think most people would rather play Skyrim standard than in a VR experience. Personally, for me, Dragon Quest, if I want a mainline Dragon Quest game or like a story heavy Dragon Quest game, give it to me on like in a standard console playable format, handheld. Like that's great. But when you add the VR component, there's this level of physical and mental exhaustion of playing with the VR headset. It takes me 15 minutes as it is with the headset on to be able to adjust it and, for my eyesight and to make it not strenuous on the eyes. And so that could be a potential problem for me going into the Dragon Quest VR experience. Does that mean I'm not excited about it? No, not at all. I'm actually quite excited about it. I love another kind of motion heavy Dragon Quest game, which is Dragon Quest Swords on the Wii. A lot of people criticize this, say it's a shallow experience, maybe because of the waggle. There's a hand on the back. Okay, it's not exactly a great signal of a great game on the Wii, but it was actually kind of fun with the Wiimote and you do slashes. It wasn't like super accurate with the sword or anything, but could you imagine? It's like you actually get to slay the slime. There's these things for the PSVR. These little like, what do you call them? Maracas. Not really maracas, but it would be cool to do like slashes and slices and maybe like the bow and arrow. That could be cool. I think there's potential, and I think it's exciting, particularly because VR is unexciting, and a lot of games come across as more as tech demos than anything fully fleshed out. Fully fleshed out experience. I would love some kind of like Link's crossbow training Dragon Quest style with VR. I don't know. That's just what's going on in my head. I've talked for long enough. What do you think? Dragon Quest VR. What should it look like? Would you play it? And yeah, are you excited? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you with more Dragon Quest content to come. One big surprise, this may come to you as a surprise, but coffee tastes exactly the same when wearing a VR headset. But this is a surprise. I never expected to have one of these, and it would be a great surprise to get to play Dragon Quest in VR someday. Be that in the arcades or at home, either would be fine. In the meantime, my primary means of playing the majority of the Dragon Quest library is on the 3DS. And last year, I actually acquired a model of the 3DS that was new to me, and it was kind of a surprise. I never expected it to become as affordable as it did. And so I acquired it. And this is my review of this model, the blue new 2DS XL. Geez, how many adjectives can you throw in there? Let's take a look at my review, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, a few years ago I showed you this crusty old device of games. As many of you know, Nintendo 3DS is my favorite console. I'm sorry, I can't deal with this stupid script stuff. I then went on to go ahead and introduce you to my blue 2DS that was in fact new at the time. Yes. I was a little skeptical of this thing, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, who's that guy? Happy to have a 3DS, that's for sure. Well, now it's about that time that I introduce you to my true new blue 2DS. Let's go ahead and unbox this bad boy right here, shall we? Alright, a little backstory. I invested in this thing from the Nintendo online store, I got it refurbished for a grand total of $99.99 plus tax, shipping, and handling. Came in at about $110 or so. Not bad considering the unit, which you're going to see in a bit here. And here we go. Look at it in all of its generic cardboard packaging. The new Nintendo 2DS XL. Okay, nothing to write home about, but I'm just going to chuck this box anyway. As you can see, it's refurbished, clean, tested, inspected by the best of the best in some people's eyes. Nintendo. The ones who can do no wrong, according to the internet. Except for a few skeptics. I am a skeptic, in fact. I do think they do wrong on some occasion. Fortunately, one thing they don't do wrong is the 3DS. I love me some good 3DS games, and I'll show you them in a bit. But let's look at the unit. As you see, this is coming in with everything well packaged. You got the unit with some cellophane wrap as well as bubble wrap. And, of course, it's in the cardboard box, so you know it's well protected. It's also naturally in a clamshell design, so you don't have to worry about these screens. But look at how sleek and shiny this bad boy is. I'm about to scuff it up with a couple thumb marks. You'll see that in a bit. But everything's looking good, nice, sleek. What more can I expect? That quality, that Nintendo quality that you pay for. Here we go. We're going to see some dual screen action. Ooh, nice and sleek. Look at that reflection. There's that lamp. And whoa, who's that guy? That's right. That's me, Majora T. One fine and dandy YouTuber, don't you know? But hey, I love this model. I love this color contrast. The light blue on the dark black makes it a nice, appealing console to look at, whether open or closed. Buttons are nice, everything's smooth. You know, you do have that little thumbstick nub in the corner. I don't use it much, but it is there. I'm not discontent. I like this thing. I like it. Okay, so many of you may be wondering, well, why play the 3DS when you have such glory as the Nintendo Switch? Well, there's many reasons, and a lot of them come in nice plastic cases. I mean, 3DS is seriously the console that just keeps on giving. It has plenty of great games for 3DS, DS, and I can show you many of them. I'm not going to do that today. If you want, you could check out a collection video of mine or something. Maybe if that's something you want me to do, I will do it. But I really enjoyed my time playing them on the 2DS. Unfortunately, the 2DS is a victim of time. I don't think that this thing has aged particularly well, as evidenced by my little dust bunnies on the thing. I know you can clean it, but you know, 2DS in general, I was getting tired of it. I was just using it as a budget handheld, and fortunately, I wasn't in a position to be able to acquire a new 2DS XL on the affordable side. And it's something you could do now, too. You know, we're in that stage where the Switch is the hype thing. So, you know, new 3DSs are not as hard to come by as they used to be. This thing never got a price drop for the longest time. You know, back when it was relevant and the Switch wasn't out. And now that, like, we're a few years in the Switch life cycle, well, you know, here we go. Look at that, not more than 5 minutes with this thing. I already scuffed it up. Man, but you know what? I'm not putting the screen protectors on this thing because once you do, that's when all the dust starts to accumulate and you can't get it out unless you take the screen protectors off. So, not doing that. But I am going to make this look nice. I am going to talk to you about just a lot of these little buttons and stuff. You know, everything indents pretty nicely. I've had problems in the past about how the thumbstick aligns with the buttons. It's not the biggest deal, but it is something to notice. Let's look on the back. You have these multiple triggers. Honestly, I haven't found a game that I play that needs all of them, but that's where they are. Volume slider is in a pretty good position. I mean, your hand might be over it, but it's not gonna, you know, mess with the volume control. Stylus is small for the new 2DS XL as far as the one that fits in the unit. I'm used to having a nice big stylus, but this one is like, picture like you have the sharpened pencil in class. You really sharpened it down to like almost the eraser. It's not exactly ideal as far as a stylus. Now, I do like the protective case here for the cartridges. You know, that's kind of a nice addition. I think they also keep the SD card in the slot to the left of that. so for built-in memory. This thing comes built in with, I think it's like either a 4 gig or an SD, 16 or a 4 gig SD card. Not the best, but you can always swap them out. Oh, actually, I think it's a micro SD card, so it's actually a little funny importing games onto this thing. I'm not really too sure. I'm not remembering it clearly, but it's what it is. Here it is in all its glory, the 3DS XL. Let's bust out the measuring tape. This is upside down. Can only happen on your first take, eh? All right, boom. It is a solid, whopping 1, 2, 6 inches wide. And then just flip this bad boy open. Oh, look at how fresh those screens are. Already got some smudges. Oh well. At 3 inches per side. Okay. Compared to a standard 2DS, it's about an inch longer, or sorry, wider, and approximately 1.5 longer. And then the screen size, probably important, right? Let's just go by the top screen here. A 2DS weighs in at about 3.5 wide and 2 height, while the 2DS XL has a screen size of about 4.5 by 3. So it's a good like 33% larger. Should we test it out compared to a Switch too? The answer is yeah. Switch is about both of them combined. So screen size on a Switch is about 6.5 inches compared to the 4.5 for the 2DS XL. And a good 4 inches. So you're probably wondering which one is right for me. Well, actually you can tilt this up. Thank you. So you're probably wondering which one is right for me, right? Well, funny you should ask, because I have them all. In fact, there's a 3DS tucked away in the closet as well, but I don't really feel like busting that one out. So the thing about the 3DS is you got all these great games that already exist and are relatively affordable. They still have these budget Nintendo Select titles in stores. And also, this is just a comfortable device. While I don't mind playing on the Switch, it is rather large. Even though it is kind of comfortable, it does fit my hands pretty well, but you know, you gotta use your pinkies for support. Otherwise, the make of the Switch is good and everything, and the games are good for the Switch, but you're also paying top dollar. 2DS has the added benefit of just being super portable. Like, hello, it's me, Reggie. I'm here today to talk to you about, okay, I'm just messing around, but you know, this would easily fit in your pocket. You take it with you and just like lay up in bed at like 3 a.m. in the morning and play some Xenoblade. In fact, maybe we should just do that. Let's take a look at some Xenoblade Chronicles on the 3DS, I'm sorry, 2DS XL, new. That's a lot of pronouns. And I want to show you exactly how this thing plays. So we got some Etrian Odyssey here. You know, I did have Xenoblade Chronicles for a little bit. The extra nub there, you know, works fine enough, although I think the extra nub is a little stiff. But everything works nice, smooth. You know, I like using the D-pad. I like the buttons. And I love the games. I mean, at the end of the day, you got a console here that is well represented as far as multiple genres. Platformers, whether 3D or 2D. You got, you know, the RPGs aplenty. You got a lot of the classic Mario sports games. You got the whole DS library. You got a virtual console library. And in general, it's just a purchase I'm very happy with. I've recently gone back and really dabbled in, you know, both the Pokemon games on this thing, Pokemon Red and blue and yellow, and also the Pokemon Crystal. So really fantastic console. I love it. It's a fan favorite of mine, and I'm always excited to talk about my love and nostalgia for the 3DS. No matter how new it is, no matter how old it is, it will always have a place in my heart. Does it have a place in yours? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some more great video game content to come. Now, it's no shock that I love surprises. Now, this should come as no surprise, but I love surprises. And Dragon Quest coming to the West is one of my greatest surprises that I was happily surprised by. And for table topics this time, I want to focus on instead some other topic than surprise, instead more about pride. And I think the two are kind of tied together, but this will be my table topics video for the month of February. Let's take a look. Hey y'all, it's me, Migraine. Hello, ER, please. It's me, not a Pokemon, Majority. That's right, you chose me. Today you chose me for a very important video, one that we love here on the channel. It is, in fact, none other than Table Topics, a series where I do not get hit with Pokeballs unless I include that in my intro, which today I did. Last time we did a Table Topics video response question on the backlog, on what game is squatting in your collection, and boy, did we get some good responses. Shout outs to Malta Master, Terry309, and VG Mashup for turning up and putting out some good responses. Be sure to check out their responses to that topic in the community Table Topics playlist below. And while you're at it, just check out the playlist. There's a lot of great videos and it's really growing. So I'm happy to see more community engagement here. The topic of the backlog is depressing. Let's just be real. You're thinking about these games that you haven't beat and it becomes a burden. Well, I don't want you to think too much of a burden this time. I want you to look back at your collection and your gaming experience with pride. I want you to throw that memory at that video game like that Pokeball hit my head earlier, with passion and energy and pride. What is one gaming memory that you have pride in? That is the table topic for today. I have many memories of pride with my video gaming log and my video gaming experiences and some of the challenges I've done. And so, there's multiple ones I could pick from, but there's one that I was especially proud of probably 3 years back now. It was at a time where I was feeling I wasn't enjoying certain games that I happen to love the genre for in quite some time, and they are turn-based RPGs, and I committed to one on a console, and that video game was Persona 5. Me clearing Persona 5 is a video game memory I have a special pride for. I am very proud that I was able to sink the 100 hours into this game. It took me from January to March, and I remember loving it so much that I would get off work and I would commit like an hour or 2 hours a day and just really enjoy the experiences of like talking to the other characters, turning the music on. It was a very calming, relaxing experience, but very much my own. The game is in fact lengthy, but it keeps you engaged throughout, and I've been quite nostalgic for it as of late. It's honestly not my favorite Shin Megami Tensei game, but it was a game that helped me remind myself that I could in fact complete a turn-based RPG on a home console as opposed to a handheld. And I haven't played it in a couple of years, but I do look back on that especially fondly. And it's a good thing, like it's a good memory that I have, because like since then I've gone ahead and I've beaten several other RPGs. I've cleared 2 out of the 3 Dragon Quests of the original trilogy on console, and I've played several on handheld, and it's been a reminder that I do love these turn-based RPGs, and I still have what it takes to really knock some out, really hit them out of the park, really swing at some pokey balls, I think. What is one gaming memory you have pride in? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to do a video response. When you do, I will add it to the playlist. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. I got some Pokeballs to be dodging. See you next time. Surprise! I beat Persona 5. Long game, but it was a happy surprise to me. And I know you're probably getting sick of this word, surprise, surprise, surprise. It's not going to be a surprise by the end of this video how many times I've overused the term. But speaking of surprises, one thing that should not come as a surprise is that we have a Discord, Sworn Brothers. Check it out in the description below. You can join the Discord, have some friendly banter with some of the nice gents over there, and also drop a question for the next Q&A segment of Majority Speaks, which is exactly what we're doing today. It's Q&A time. Also, I'm going to start leaving kind of spoilers about like what the topic for the next month is, or kind of the theme, so if you want to frame your questions that way, you can. Questions. All right, we're going to go in terms of the order here. What was the first one since last time? Terry309 asks, what is the funniest game I've ever played? Great question, Terry. This could take several forms of funniness or entertainment. I have different sense of humor than other people. I don't find the kind of like violent humor particularly funny. I'm more like witty humor, and also kind of just plays on words and stuff. I don't know, that's kind of my forte. So I'm naturally inclined to the Dragon Quest series, and one that was particularly stand out for me is Dragon Quest VII. You would go to the different islands and everyone had different dialects, and I don't know why I found the nature of how they talked funny, but I did. Now, some people might say that's offensive. Well, you know what I'd say is, we're all people and we can laugh and enjoy, things like the way that we speak with each other instead of at somebody. It's not that I'm making fun of them or think they sound dumb or not dumb. It's just that the way they were saying things was funny. I would have to go back and play it again and see if maybe that's an over analysis of the game, but I think it is. I think it's just naturally a good warm-hearted experience, and I enjoyed it for that. On top of that, the other experience I would find really funny was when I used to play Mario Golf Toadstool Tour with my dad. We would do a versus match on the GameCube. And one thing you can do in that game when you're playing in a versus match is you could use taunts, and you could taunt the other player with commands, and there were so many voiceovers for every character that were individualized. It also had voice acting, so we used to love picking the human characters and hearing them voiced by like the Mario guy, and Luigi would be like, if you use the negative taunt, you're gonna lose, and Wario would say, good luck to me. That would crack up. We would crack up. We would just be spamming taunts in between the rounds while we're trying to line up for the shot. And then the perfectly placed taunt, instead of just spamming it, you'd wait right before you think they're going to hit the ball. You'd just hit that one taunt that would go over and it would mess up the shot. And we would laugh so hard when that happened. That was one of my funniest memories with a video game. Good question, Terry. Multimaster, why is Nintendo so lame now? Well, elaborate. What do you mean so lame? If you mean why are they so lousy at putting out video game content, I think they've always been kind of slow. It's just that maybe we've come to expect a lot, and also other companies put out games on their Switch system so fast now. So by comparison, we just don't get a lot of Nintendo games, and I don't know. I guess what I would say to that is that they just move at a kind of slow pace, and that's okay. Now, the other thing is they also are starting to err towards more modern console tropes and also video game tropes, such as having DLC and also making extensions of games, Fighters Deluxe, the free LC, the free-to-play Pokemon games. And I think that's kind of just a shady direction. I'm not particularly fond of that, so that could be an angle about why they're lame. Additionally, I'm not big on the idea of an online service. I've come to understand why. I don't think they're the most predatory when it comes to that, but the idea of having to pay the subscription fee and also the very little they offer, it is kind of lousy, let's just be honest. And they do not update their virtual console service regularly enough to warrant it. What are people playing online on the Switch? It is pretty lame, if I do say so myself. So I understand. SNES Mapper, what is my favorite beer type? Oh boy. Okay, I do love me a good dark beer. I love me a good German beer is typically my favorite, whether it be a lager or no, they call it Pilsner in German, but it's essentially a lager. There's not much of a difference. It's just where it's brewed. Now, if you're asking what is my favorite beer, that's a separate question. I went all last month without drinking, and so until the very end, and we had a little celebration here. So it's kind of a hard question for me to answer because I've really slowed down on it. My problem is that I do really like beer. It's actually my favorite type of alcohol, and knowing that, I'm actually very subject to want to drink a lot. So I've been keeping that in check, and that's why I'm really trying to phase it out. But of course, there'll be an occasion where I do want to celebrate, and that's what I want to turn the drinking habit into, is more of a celebration as opposed to a de-stressor off, right off of work, long day, have a beer type of thing. Favorite beer? I got two of them, and they're both Belgians actually. But my memories with them are so great. It's the Guldendrak and the Perot. Excellent beers. Kind of just goes against what I said about German beers, because it's, Belgian. But whatever. Good question. Rave Racer 91, is there any good guy I consider the bad guy and vice versa? Let's think about that. I didn't think long enough about this question. You know, that's such a good question that it's actually got me stumped. But I'm thinking back to like Shin Megami Tensei 4, where it's kind of ambiguous who is right and who is wrong, what is good and what is evil. So I would definitely look towards that game, towards to answering that question, because the ambiguity about like religious themes and Christianity being good or bad and the devil being good or bad, that's a game that really makes you question those type of ideals. And so I happen to really like that game, and I've been looking to replay it for some time. So that's my answer. That's a good question. BioPhoenix, would I wear this shirt? Absolutely. Now, you know, I love the subtitle there. I've seen this shirt before online for like $500, but my goodness, the Slime Aloha shirt, telling me it's on Play Asia. Oh boy, you know, I would grip that in a heartbeat for the right price, but not for $500. A little tacky, but you know, it's good. A Dragon Quest Aloha shirt is legit. Good question. A Majora t-shirt, absolutely, Terry. Multimaster, do I prefer Pokemon Puzzle League on N64 or Game Boy? You know, I think I've only played the Game Boy version. I haven't played the 64 version from memory. But in principle, I would have to go 64 because it's on the Nintendo 64, which is, in fact, my favorite console. Did you know? I'll have to get that at some time. Terry, what is the most improved game of all time, in my opinion? And he means specifically one that outclasses its predecessor. A game where the predecessor was terrible, but the follow-up was amazing. So I don't know about the terrible and amazing dialogue, but you know, F-Zero X is a huge step up from F-Zero on the SNES. Really just a standout experience with so many more characters, so many more tracks, a rocking soundtrack, and just more personality. And then F-Zero GX is arguably similar in that regard too. F-Zero X was really good for its time. And Terry's got the last question here. What is the best and worst MacGuffin plot? What he means by this is a game where the plot revolves around key items that you have to hunt down in order to advance the story. The Zelda games are known for this, but it's in quite a lot of games. This is a terrific question, and it really is in so many games. Pretty much any Nintendo game, you could almost argue they have that kind of item progression-based system. Even F-Zero GX, you gotta race to get the tickets to unlock chapters in the story mode. The Metroid series is all about, you know, item-based exploration. Zelda as well. I have a particular game that I love that does this, was Banjo-Tooie. I don't know how unique this is really, about like using the skills that you get in the worlds to progress your overworld progression. I don't know how like particularly brilliant it was there, but that would be one of the best cases, such as using, I forget, like you use like the aiming eggs to like hit a switch, or it's like what else do? You use like there's different types of eggs that you use to unlock things on the overworld. I really love Banjo-Tooie. That was a terrific experience that I need to go back to soon. The worst? What is the worst MacGuffin plot? Oh boy. I don't know. I'm thinking of one. I'm thinking of one where it's like it was like a real chore to do. I just don't know. There must have been one though. Don't know, Terry. I don't have a good answer for you, but it is a good question. I'd be interested to know y'all's in the comments below. So we have a voicemail number that you can dial into for the show, and we'll play the voicemail on the show. That number is 1-917-267-8313. This time I did not get any unique voicemails except for one that came in last minute. And we're going to take a look. Just a reminder, you can leave voicemails asking a question, leaving a comment and some feedback, and I will respond to it. So let's give this one a listen, shall we?
Hey, this is Majora 3, and I wanted to leave you a voicemail. A great show. I love the Majority Speaks series, and I know this one is in honor of surprises. So I wanted to ask you, what is the value of surprise in video games, and what is one of the greatest examples of it that you've seen? Thanks so much. Looking forward to the response. 3 out.
We got a fan, y'all. Majora 3. There's a surprise. What is the value of surprise? I love surprises. I tell you that all the time. To me, what is a video game if there is no element of surprise? Well, it's boring. What is there to expect and look forward to? It's just, and in some respects, if you know everything that's going to happen in a game, why play it? That's actually why I argue against watching a lot of reviews or Let's Plays or reading things about games that I'm looking forward to, is because I don't want to ruin potential surprises. Surprise could come in many forms. It could come in the form of beating a high score that you've achieved previously. It could be learning a new skill in a video game. It could be maxing out a stat. It could be uncovering hidden items. There's always like a sense of satisfaction attached to surprise. And when it comes in narrative form, that can also be especially rewarding. One of the best surprises that I've seen in recent memory is none other than this beauty right here, Super Mario Odyssey. Now, I'm about to spoil what happens towards the end, but there is a really good surprise. So if you want to not know what happens, close your ears. Terry. At the end, in the final segment of the game, you know, Mario's thrown his hat and he can turn into these things throughout the game. He can turn into Bowser at the end of the game. And my goodness, that was an awesome surprise. It's not the first time you could play as Bowser, but in a mainline game, it was. And I wasn't expecting it. It was super cool getting the Bowser abilities. I would almost just want to play the whole game over as Bowser. That would be super cool. And so that was a great surprise. Okay, obviously I left the voicemail, but you can leave a voicemail too, so be sure to call into the show. Thanks for watching, everybody. And, oh wait, you thought that was it? No, we have a very special segment for you today. We hit a milestone, and that milestone is 500 subscribers. That number may have gone up or down. I don't know, but I put together a little montage in honor of the big 500. So let's check it out.
What's going on, Earth? This is
Majority
from the
Majority.
and I'm wishing you all the best as you sit back and enjoy my review of the console.
Majority. Nintendo 3DS is my favorite console. Like, you could upgrade the game all you want, but the walls are still gonna look like brown avocado. What could that be?
Situation.
Now that's how you make a cup of coffee. This is pretty impressive with each track that you finish. So say you take first place, you get 100 points. But say you take 15th place, then I think maybe you get like 50. Under 1,000 and counting. Subs have sprung up like a fountain. Been doing this so long on YouTube, what do I do now that I found them?
See, I be putting the work in. Do this till I see the curtains. Exercise my right to monetize, but nothing's for certain. Since games on my life, I'm the MVG. I level up stats like an RPG. Gamers looking at me like I couldn't kill time, but they don't see my crown. I'm the king slime. That's impossible. These bones are straight metal.
Hedge god? More like a blue devil.
This a Hydra City, and I run on water.
Why run when climbing's even shorter?
Would you look at that? It's hero time, so let's take out our hero, put it on a plate. You don't want to be uncivil now, do you? It's too bad you can't say kimbap in the same kind of fun tone. You can say udon. You say kimbap. But take a look. That's a beauty right there.
Aesthetic.
Yes, aesthetic.
It went away.
Button Mapper's favorite word. So much for aesthetic. To the taste or to the test? Or how about the taste test? Let's do it to it in the kitchen. We're off.
So foremost, Super Mario 64.
Woo!
Everybody, Big Boost Haunt. Yeah, that's the Japanese version, the one we can't understand.
So with that, we're going to go down the list of the games in order of announcement. Any objections?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Let's
It's Mario time.
Mash it up today with a fellow masher. Come on in.
All right. How you doing?
And hey, it's
How you doing, son?
hey, what's up, Dad? Mr. Papa Mashup.
This is excellent.
Excellent indeed.
So 21st century.
I know. You got a phone that does everything for you. What could you ask for?
A PSP. That's we're at 16, or right, or something like that. No. We're beyond that. I've lost count.
Me too.
What am I missing?
Theodore showing off his skills. Oh, that one went pretty far. Wait, for the camera, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I've got that many more left. It's gonna be a long night. Oh, hell no. Game over. 40,000. Woo! Miss Pac-Man. Baby!
Yeah, I rule.